This cow here, this is Abigail. She's an Angus. That's a beef breed. And she's pretty friendly. When she was about 5 weeks old, she had her leg broken and that. So she spent the next 5 weeks in a splint. So she's pretty friendly. And I'm going to take some corn out here. We have Maggie here. This is the other cow. Oops. Look out, girl. Look out. Come on. Come on. Yeah, the red and white cows and red cows, those are all shorthorns. That's a multi-purpose breed. That was the most common breed of cattle in the 19th century and early 20th century because of their versatility. They were good milk cows, they were good beef producers, and in pioneer days, if you needed draft animals, they made good oxen. So Martin Flynn, he had a well-known herd of shorthorn cattle that he raised here at what was called the Walnut Hill Farm, was his farm. And by the late 1800s, the farmers wanted more production, and so some farmers wanted dairy shorthorns, but most of them wanted more muscular, faster-growing beef shorthorns. And so breeders started going two different directions in the late 1800s. Martin Flynn kept a good balance in his herd, but by the early 20th century, the milking shorthorn breed splintered off and became a dairy breed. So if you go to the state fair, you'll see two different breeds of types of shorthorns. And ours are milking shorthorns. That was closer to what was around in the 19th century. But by the late 1800s and early 1900s, farmers want even more production from their cattle, so they start looking for more specialized breeds. And so Angus, like Abigail here, and Herefords, which are the red and white-faced cattle you sometimes see, those start becoming common, and some dairy breeds like Guernseys and Jerseys, and a little bit later Holsteins start becoming common. Here at the Managed Farms, basically the ones with horns, Maybelle and Rosie here, they're going to go over to the 1850 Pioneer Farm. Back in those days, horns were an advantage because they helped the animals protect themselves from predators. It helps keep the yoke on the oxen. But after the pioneer days are over and there aren't any predators around, those horns are a detriment. They're dangerous to the other animals, the other cattle. They're dangerous to the farmer. And so after the Civil War, you start seeing a lot of dehorning tools being patented. An easier way to do it, it takes longer, is that occasionally a horned breed will have an animal will have an offspring that naturally doesn't grow horns. And if you choose those animals as your breeding stock, eventually you go from a breed with horns to a breed that normally doesn't have horns. And so some of these Lily and some of the other cattle here are naturally hornless. That's called polled. And back in the late 1800s, a breed was developed from the shorthorn, and it was called a polled Durham. It was kind of an oxymoron to call them hornless shorthorns, but the shorthorn cattle originated in Durham, England, and so in the 18th century, 19th century, they were often called Durham cattle.